Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and while you're at it, click the bell to be notified of future videos. This block is called Duck and Duckling. It's 10-inch finished. The units here in the corner are called Cat's Cradle, or it's a variation of the Cat's Cradle. It might be a split Cat's Cradle because I think the regular Cat's Cradle has a square in this corner and not a half square triangle. But there is a tool, or there's probably several tools out there you can use. I know of them, but I have not used them. We are just going to cut and sew patches in this video. Here is what they look like, 4 blocks set together, and I think they really shine when you put them on point. Patch A is a 2-inch finished half square triangle, and we are going to cut patches. So we cut 1 square at 2 7/8 inches, cut it in half once diagonally for 2 patches. Here are the AccuQuilt dies that will cut the patches. We'll need 12 of the background and 4 of the dark fabric. Patch B is a 2 by 4 inch finished rectangle. We'll cut 4.5 inch by 2.5 inch patches. We need 4 of the background fabric. Here are the AccuQuilt dies that will cut these pieces. Patch C is a 2-inch finished square. We cut 2.5 inch squares, and we need 1 patch for the dark fabric. Here is the AccuQuilt dies that will cut that patch. And patch D is a 4-inch finished half square triangle. We'll cut 4 7/8 inch squares, cut them in half once diagonally for 2 patches. And we'll need 4 patches of the red fabric. For step 1, we'll piece the half square triangles. There are 4 of them. Then we're going to sew the background patches, which is patch A, to either side of the half square triangles. Then we'll complete the corner unit and then put the block together. Here are the patches. This is patch A. We have our 12 background patches and our 4 dark patches. Patch B is the rectangle, the 2 by 4 inch rectangle from the background. Patch C are the large triangle patches, and patch D is the center square. Let's start by sewing our half square triangles together. To do that, we'll take the 4 dark patches and we'll take 4 of the background patches and simply stitch these together like this and press the seams open. If you were cutting your pieces, your triangle pieces, with the rotary cutter, you might want to use this deluxe corner trimmer from Marty Michelle. And we're going to use the 45-degree angle on here to trim our corners. And what that does is help you to place the pieces when you're trying to sew them together. It helps in accuracy. These are the points we're going to cut off. The 90-degree angle does not have to be cut. And we use the 45-degree angle on this ruler. You line up the edges, this edge and this edge, and make sure that you are lined up really well. And I found that it's better to cut off less up here than more. So what I mean by that is, if you happen to be down here too far and you cut too much off, that's worse than cutting not enough off. So I always try to err on the side of giving myself more fabric to work with later. So line up these sides, and then you're going to cut this piece here and this piece here with your rotary cutter. So you see these really tiny pieces here, and here is your round. So if you look at the 2 different sides, now this is more rounded. It has 2 pieces cut off, and this is your point. These will match up better when you're sewing them on something else. If you look at the instructions for step 2, it has a diagram of what we're going to do next, and that is stitch 1 of the background A patches to either side of the half square triangles we just pieced. Here is the half square triangle, and what I like to do is just Lay out the piece exactly as the diagram looks. Here is our half square triangle, and then we'll put one patch A this way and the other patch on this side. And what you're doing, you're stitching to the dark side of this half square triangle, and you're making a larger triangle. So stitch one side first, press it open, then stitch the other side, and you'll make 4 of these. These units from step 2 are finished. Now step 3 is to piece this large triangle onto this one that we just pieced. And since I have cut my edges, we flip them over and then match these edges like that. And all 3 sides should be matched, and this longer edge is where we're going to stitch 1/4 of an inch. And you might want to flip it over, and in order to make your points pretty, you can see here where the point is because we press the seams open. So as you're stitching this way, you want to stitch right where that point is so you won't cut off your point, and then stitch all the way down. And press your seams open, and we'll have 4 of these. The corner units are done now, and all we have to do is put the block together. Stitch the units into 3 rows, then stitch the rows together, and the block is done. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and while you're at it, click the bell to be notified of future videos.